It is a dreary, cold, rainy weekend down here on the bayou. It seems like it always rains on the weekends these days. And although I've got lots of projects and chores to do, I'm not getting them done. So, not wanting to waste the time, I've pulled the old truck up underneath the shed, the carport here, and I've been staging my gear in the truck, just to have a place to come and work on it. And I don't drive this truck much unless it's on the weekend when I'm working on something, and since that's not happening, it's a great place to stage my gear for the upcoming hog hunting trip. And what I want to talk about is having a list. One of my five faithful mentioned going over his mental list, and I go over my mental list all the time, but it's real important to turn that mental list into an actual paper list. And this is a list that I created years ago, and I just upgrade it all the time and just name it by the new year. And you can see that I've got it, shoes, socks, hats, cold weather gear, clothes, weapons, knives, assorted gear, gadgets, sleeping gear. And you don't have to organize it the way I did, and I change how I organize it sometime. But it really is the way to make sure you don't go off and leave something important. And so today what I'm doing is I'm starting my first checklist where I go through and check my gear. And as I do, there's a little bit of a winnowing there. I may add something, take something away. You always want to be looking at the weather and what it's going to be like. Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be really, really nice? And while I do take some stuff just in case the weather prediction is wrong, I do lean toward following what they say, and their predictions are usually in general pretty good. But like I said, this is my first iteration, and what I'll do is I'll go through here and make a check mark that I have the gear here on site. And until I have it here in this holding area, if you will, I don't mark it down. And then once I have that done, then I go back and I start looking at it again. Is this the one I want? Is this the watch cap I want? Are these the clothes that I want to take? And all the way down to the weapon systems and the ammo. And it's just the way to do it, to make sure that you don't leave something out. In the past, I think I've shown you what I call an SL3, or a junk on the bunk inspection, that I give myself, where I lay the gear out just like you do in the military, so that in the military you're laying it out so a superior, your platoon sergeant or your squad sergeant can come in and say, okay, you do have it, you do have it, you do have it, now load it in your pack. Here, I'm the convening authority. I'm the guy making sure that I've got it, because I'm the one that's going to pay the price if I don't. But it's a real help, rather than just look at a piece of gear and stuff it in a bag, to lay it all out and look it over. And then of course comes the time where you stuff it in the bag and say, you know what, this doesn't fit in this bag. Or you may say, this is just too much gear for the weight. Weight is very important, especially if you're going to hump this stuff. I'm lucky in that most of the gear is going to stay, in that large ILBE this year. It'll sit on the ground there at the deck there at the cabin, and gear will go out with me on my day pack and in my chest rig. But we always talk about doing other things, and there may be a day that I put that thing on and we go sit in a stand for 2 days, and just 2 days and a night, and just stay there, in which case it's just going to be easier to throw all that stuff into a large pack, sleeping bag and extra gear, and go in that way, because we usually have a little bit of a hike, and we don't drive right up to the stands. We park the UTV a little bit a ways, maybe on the gas line road, and we walk into the stand area. And so I want to be able to do all those things. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. This is how I go about making sure that I've got all my gear. If you're not doing this for your hunting trips, for your hiking trips, you really want to start looking at doing this because it helps you keep from screwing up. And it's the P's that JJ always talks about over on Reality Survival. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I think he does the G version, but it's proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. This is proper prior planning. Hey, thanks for watching.